we are happy to be here and talking about how experience-driven commerce will, support the continuity of business as unusual in this festive season, and also for the times ahead, right? So from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed, the media you consume, the ads you see, the apps you use, the websites you browse, and shopping that you do throughout the day online, Adobe has some or the other way touched you without you knowing it, right? And in Adobe, we believe in changing the world through digital experiences. And during these times of COVID and these unusual times of pandemic, we have been open and have been supporting businesses across the region to ensure that they deliver unique customer experience and also change their digital perspective in these difficult times. So the agenda for today is pretty straightforward. I'll be primarily talking about retail trends pre-COVID, and how, and from our Adobe perspective, what impact did we see and our customers see during this time, and how did they prepare for business as unusual, and how are they now leading the trend in shaping the new normal, and then a little about Adobe Experience Cloud on what it entails and how we support businesses across the world to deliver unique experiences to the end customer. So before March happened, right? Before Feb and March happened, the retail focus was already on digital transformation. Digital transformation is not new to any business of commerce, right? So we're talking about redesigning of the retail experience. We're talking about automation of customer journey. We're talking about scale personalization, and with all these there, right? We were also looking at businesses adopting these trends, slowly and gradually. But at the end of the day, it was just another channel for them, to sell more. They were very retail centric. They were very store centric, right? They used to talk about omni-channel and establishing endless shelf, but this is all growing at a very slow pace, and they're trying to, just make sure that the whereas digital grows steadily. After COVID was something exceptional, right? So, like our CEO Shantanu Narayan says, it before COVID it was about delivering delightful, personal, relevant interactions in real time. But after COVID, it is now support critical, right? And it has become a mainstay need in the exclusively digital world. So, what was earlier a good to have or forward thinking strategy is now business critical strategy. So that's how these 9 months have completely revolutionized how we look at business. So I would want to talk about the McKinsey report that was published recently, because even for them, even for all consultancies, nobody had prepared for this. I just be a step away from calling this a black swan event. So nobody had seen this coming. So from a time from the perspective of how you work, right? The way you work, you started working from home. You started spending more time on learning, right? 35% of Indian customers or Indian business users or Indian office goers have subscribed to some kind of digital learning, right? The communication and information has completely shifted to digital. Information is being consumed digitally, right? Travel and mobility is completely shut down, right? So you are more at home. Even your personal life, even the personal life of you and your customer is changing, right? Shopping and consumption is more digital. Life is more at home. You're spending more hours at home. Play and entertainment has also become digital, right? So your old traditional models of IPL and football Premier League are there to stay, but you now see online gaming leagues coming up, right? And there's a lot more focus on health and well-being, a lot more focus on sustainability. In fact, what we saw was a transformation of decades happening in months and days, right? So online delivery, the kind of transformation we were expecting in 10 years, what we saw in 10 years, right? Previous 10 years happened in 8 weeks. Remote learning in the first 2 weeks of pandemic, once the lockdown was declared, 250 million people subscribed to some or the other courses online, right? Remote workplaces saw 20%, 20 times participation. And this webinar is an example of just that. Telemedicine, consulting with your doctor, buying medicines online, right? In 15 days, you saw a growth of 10x, right? And they were not necessarily COVID related, cases. Online entertainment, the content that was supposed to be consumed in 7 years, and this comes from Disney, right? The content that was supposed to be consumed in 10 years was consumed in 5 months. So it is unprecedented acceleration. And it has been very hard for businesses to cope up with it. The initial reaction of all businesses was, they were all caught by surprise. We were caught by surprise being a tech company. Our customers who were retail business were caught by surprise. And we all know what happened to the first quarter, of this year. Everything went for a toss. Then there were some businesses that started looking at transition, right? They started thinking more digital, right? We know that, your vaccines and all are 12 to 18 months down the line. But the most important question is, after this thing is over, for sure this will be over, right? After this thing is over, will the digital trends be able to sustain itself? So, basis some hypothesis study, they've come up with this stickiness of the digital. So it's a factor of forced behavior, right? And then the satisfaction that you get. So this entire buying online, not going out, not going to your cinema halls to see movies or to your favorite restaurant to eat food, is forced behavior, right? You're actually adopting this digital because it's been thrust on you. But if it's satisfactory, if you're getting a good experience out of it, right, you're more likely to stick to it. So the kind of experiences our customers, our businesses that we partner with have provided to their customer have seen a gradual, revert to the normal in terms of revenue, and it's here to stay. See, because if one business does it and is able to provide satisfaction digitally, and consumer is basically getting that comfort of staying at home and shopping, of using all his services, goods at home without putting too much investment in travel, too much time in travel, he'll basically stick to it. Now the onus is on the rest of the businesses to catch up. So the bottom line is, this digital transformation is here to stay. It's not going away anytime soon. Even after COVID, it's here to stay. So we better prepare for it. We better start, building for it, right? So what is this business is unusual? What has actually changed, right? So when we talk of business is unusual, we talk of 6 pillars of business resilience. We talk of better understanding your customer, right? We talk of proactive communication outreach. Proactive communication and outreach, because there is no communication happening. The customer needs to speak with you. Customer know what's happening at your end. Community support, where you need to show the customer that you care for him. You are a sustainable company. You are participating with him in this tough time. Then a strategic shift from big brick and mortar strategy to digital strategy. Then making sure that the ease of adoption is there. Digital adoption and self-service, that ease of transition from old ways to new is there, right? And then also innovating and finding out new ways of working. So all these 6 pillars put together is what we call the new normal, or the unusual way of doing business, right? So it's more like mother and child relationship. So the moments that matter. So we always in Adobe talk about moments that matter in the entire customer engagement. So moments that matter are to be completely known by the businesses, right? So we talk of hyper awareness, right, where you're always there listening to your customer, trying to understand your consumer behavior, and trying to anticipate demand. Intelligent decision making at scale. You use new technologies like AI and machine learning. I remember 3 years ago, it was very gimmicky, right? I was at this summit and there's a major footwear company that was talking about AI and machine learning. So at the end of the summit, I went and asked them, what is the incremental benefit of you adopting AI? The guy shrugged his shoulders. But now it is even more important. It is so relevant today, because you want to make this personalization at scale. You want to make this hyper awareness at scale, and then drive real-time action. Drive real-time action in the sense that while he is browsing, right, are you able to understand what is he looking for and give him a relevant suggestion, and throw a relevant offer to him, the way your sales guy would have done, right? So we are talking about all these 3 factors. So when we talk of better understanding your customer, the beauty of it is you already have all that data, right? All this data is already with you. Your customers are living in a different world than they were just a few months ago. We all are. Nothing in business as usual. So you basically have these data sets with you. You have CRM data. You might have propensity scores. You might have done some modeling. There's some data or some content sitting in the web, right? You also have data about your online shopping, maybe some numbers, maybe some matrices. You have customer communication data from your mobile chat, your paid media insights you get in terms of who clicked, how did they click, which SEO is trending. You need to bring all these things together. You need to create a customer profile, because once you create a customer profile, then you can do a lookalike modeling. So the most profitable customer is somebody. I'll give you an example. So I'm taking an apparel brand's name, Ritu Kumar, right? The most profitable customer is somebody who's between the ages of, 25 to 27, is a woman, has, a spend of, two and a half, 3,000 rupees per ticket item, and, five times a year, right? That's the most profitable customer for Ritu Kumar. So are you able to then go stitch this data together, know more about that profile, and find similar profiles, right? Who could be your potential customers? So you need to start understanding this customer better, right? Drive the profile better. And also shifting your brick and mortar strategy. The old way of doing things was there were POSes, there were systems in place. People used to talk about omni-channel. Companies used to try to deliver omni-channel, but there was always this business side resistance, right? Well, this is great, but my sales or my store staff doesn't really understand this, so I won't spend time training the store staff. Let's see how it turns out. But now it's completely disrupted. So from a service perspective, are you a business who could benefit from a curbside pickup because you're doing you have a great many delivery points, right? Are you a business that could be looking at BOPIS, buy online pay in store, right? Or are you somebody who's completely reliant on home delivery like a restaurant? Or is secure locker something for you because you sell high valued items and the customer is a secured locker, right? You basically get an access code for 15 minutes, you put a product there and the customer collects. Is local pickup your strategy, right? Showroom shopping will just be one small aspect of this entire strategy, right? And then of this data explosion, right? How these data points, how communication, right? At the end of the day, a customer used to come to a store or come to a website. That was one touch point, and one communication used to happen. At best, what we used to do is Facebook ads, or put a post on Twitter, do some more ads on Google, and that was the end of it. But is this active communication proactive? Is it real time, right? Are you able to connect online and offline with the same customer and identify him at the same time? Can you send contextual offers and messages to the customer while he's near you or while he's taking a decision of buying, right? Also optimize user experience. Different screens. If he's viewing you on TV, right? Using our TV as a device of browsing, or a pad or a mobile or a laptop, are you able to give that optimized user experience to him? And then at the end, can you use this entire thing as a personalization at scale, right? Can you do your AI and ML at scale to drive this, actually decide which customer needs what, right? What is the best strategy for which customer? So all these shifts, all these transitions are something that any of the businesses that we're talking to today will face in next 3 to 6 months, right? You will take one of these decisions in next 3 to 6 months. So also with this comes digital adoption and self-service, because in India, self-service has been something that has been really lacking. There's no concept of DIY businesses. A lot of businesses have tried to come to a DIY point. Is there a way that you'll be able to enable DIY? Is there a way you'll be able to enable self-service, right? Can you provide touchless solutions and propositions to customer, right? So that innovation from your business could be there. For example, I'll give an example of a furniture company in India who's basically involving a customer in the product adoption journey, right? And is involving the customer in making all critical decisions of building the product. Or somebody like Escorts, which is an automobile company, very different, right? Completely different from your retail setup. Escorts ensuring a customer goes to the app, self-identifies what part is broken, gets manuals and videos on fixing and repairing that part, and also gets some SLAs on it. Also gets these videos on it, right? So all this is actually happening for ensuring customers adopt digital channels, right? And then we always have talked about personalization, communication, outreach, and personalization. So now the talk is about hyper personalization. It's not just personalization, right? For every customer, can you just are you able to send the right message? How deep can you go, right? Is it paid media? Is it web? Is it mobile chat or online shop? Or even your sales associate, right? Can your sales associate trigger the next best offer? These hyper personalization aspects, right, will have to be relooked at, right? Even from a content strategy, even from a sales strategy, even from a digital strategy. So where does Adobe come in all this? So what does Adobe do, and why Adobe is able to provide some of these things to the end customers, right? So Adobe from the very beginning has talked about a couple of things that we really believe in, right? At Adobe, there's a major, we talk about customer experience. new ways of working, and innovation and creativity, right? And we believe that these are the three major drivers to digital transformation and reinvention of business, right? So when these three come together, we talk of these three coming together to actually deliver digital business agility, right? And that's exactly what all businesses are needing right now, right? So
Hey,
Adobe,
Vivek,
yeah,
we are just left with 10 more minutes.
yeah,
We are done with 20 minutes.
all right.
I guess we need to wrap it fast.
Yeah, cool.
Thank
So
you.
Adobe Experience Cloud, has delivered 14 trillion segment activations, $155 billion of GMV to customers, and basically 3.3 billion offers delivered per day to their customers. We served 15 billion web pages per day, right? And when we talk of Adobe, we talk of unleashing creativity, accelerating document productivity, and powering digital business. And Adobe Experience Cloud is one product which starts from your journey of asset creation to your measurement and analysis, and to your customer personalization and customer purchase. The entire journey at some point or the other can be covered with Adobe products. And when we talk of Adobe as a product stack, we talk of Adobe Analytics, where you take data driven marketing decision. Marketing Cloud, we talk about mobile marketing and customer experiences. And then Adobe Commerce, where commerce being the centerpiece strategy of all businesses. Through Magento Commerce, we are able to deliver unmatched experiences and unmatched user value propositions to deliver that revenue, that extra value stream, right? And we've been working with some of the best brands in industry to ensure that these value propositions are delivered in the times of COVID, and also preparing them for the future. So I'm open to any questions. So because we talk of experiences that matter more than ever, I'm open to any questions about this now. Any questions?
Vivek, there have been few questions on the chat, particularly about what is Magento doing, especially now it's part of Adobe. What is Magento doing to enable small or mid-sized merchants? Do they work with them, and are there anything specific that they do, particularly on the personalization aspect?
Yeah, so see, Magento, even before Adobe acquired it, was primarily a platform for small and mid-sized businesses, right? And Adobe, as a major digital experience company, lacked the only part that it lacked was conversion layer. So Magento is not, Magento still has that flavor of delivering to smaller businesses as well as large businesses. So we work with businesses who do less than 5 crores, 6 crores online. Very small businesses that are just starting out. So that has not changed. What has actually improved, what has actually come in is that now we have a sustained roadmap. So we can start with you being very small to a point where you can actually be doing multi-billion-dollar businesses, right? So I'll give an example. I started working with a business based out of Bombay called Peelworks, right? They were just starting out. They're today they raised Series C funding of 17-20 million. They are doing 50 million dollars in top line revenue. So with Adobe coming into picture, that propensity is increased. The more value can be served using Magento.
Hmm. Okay, understood. And how do these small merchants get access to the developer ecosystem of Magento? Because many of the small merchants complain of plugin downtime. That's a question that has
Yeah.
come.
So here's the thing. So Magento is a licensed product of Adobe, right?
Hmm.
And when we talk of Magento, we talk of Magento Enterprise, right?
Hmm.
Magento Enterprise is a paid version of Magento, right? So you basically buy a license and you get access to all the developer ecosystem, right?
Hmm.
The other aspect, the old version of Magento, the old way of Magento was there's Magento Enterprise and there's Magento Open Source, right?
Hmm.
So open source, basically being an open source product, has is still there. It's still there for you to experiment, build. But the
Hmm.
demand that businesses are having now, they're moving more and more towards Magento Enterprise.
Okay, understood. There's a question on should I develop my custom design in Magento or purchase themes for my e-commerce website? What is recommended?
So, Magento Enterprise has a very strong native theme called Vinia and Luma, right? They're very, very strong, right? And you can build whatever you want on it. The advantage of a custom theme is you go rapid. It's very quick for you. The disadvantage of any theme, right, is that theme restricts you in terms of what you can use of the platform. So Magento is one of the strongest platforms available in the market in terms of what you can do. So I never come to a customer with use cases or features functionalities, because I know I have, say, 300 features, right? But beyond that, whatever the customer needs to build, my platform can deliver, because of the flexibility it offers, because it's a platform as a service. And as the thing that a theme does is restricts you in terms of how much of it can you do. If you use the native theme of Magento Enterprise, which is Luma and Venia, you can, you won't need anything else.
Understood. The other question is Magento planning a reseller commerce platform for new or existing user?
A reseller commerce platform? Can you elaborate on it a little more? What do you mean by reseller commerce platform?
That's the only question. So they want to maybe build a reseller commerce platform, and does Magento support that use case?
See, if you're talking about marketplaces, then none of the platforms in the market today have a native marketplace functionality. But having said that, we have a marketplace accelerator which helps you create that reseller model, right? If you're talking of reseller model, we help you create the reseller model.
So hi guys, thank you so much for inviting us. I and Nikita, who is a colleague of mine, also a part of this call. We both take care of all the business categories at Meesho, and very relevant to this discussion. And we ensure that most of the products that we have on the platform reaches to the right audience, and we get maximum growth in orders and business for all our sellers and resellers per se, right? So I'll quickly go through the basic model of Meesho before we start anything else. Because what we have seen historically is that we get a lot of questions about how Meesho works, why it is different, how is it not equal to Flipkart or Amazon? And I think it's important to answer those questions first before we get into the technicalities of how a supplier can scale or how a seller can become big at Meesho. So I'll quickly give you a bigger landscape of why Meesho started and what sort of problems that we are solving. So if you see around, right? So there are a lot of internet users in the country. A lot of these users acquire content through social media. They create videos. They just browse internet. They just do Google search. They do a lot of stuff on internet because it is so cheap. But the number of transactors on e-commerce platforms are not at the scale that it should be, right? So there are close to 600 million internet users in India, but only around 100 million of them have transacted in e-commerce, right? And you see that it takes time for a person to graduate from using an internet to start transacting on e-commerce platform. There is a journey, and it takes around 2 years for a majority of people to understand internet and e-commerce properly and start transacting, right? So we had asked to a lot of people that why these numbers are really low, and the things that we have found out was trust and convenience are the two bits which are missing in a lot of these tier 2 plus users, right? They do not trust the platform that well, or they feel that it's not very convenient for them to transact through that channel, right? And this is where we see that social commerce in itself is something that has come as a big force in disrupting this value chain, and we will talk about social commerce as such in the coming part of the.
Abhishek, sorry to peep in between, but a small request. We are getting requests from the audience that some English or maybe Hindi and English mix would do.
Done. Yeah. So in fact, so I'll try to do it in Hindi itself, if that is okay.
Abhishek, because we are getting mixed requirement, once we started with Hindi, people said English please. So let's try to keep in both. मतलब English में बात करते हैं ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा.
Done. So काफी users हैं जो socially active होते हैं, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook use करते हैं, general internet use करते हैं, but e-commerce पे transact नहीं करते. And that is one problem जो हम solve करना चाहते हैं through this social selling as a model, right? And ये social selling is something which is not new. मतलब ये काफी time से चल रहा है, and it has been there for ages. But the way it has evolved in the last few years, that is something that I wanted to share in this presentation, and that is where Meesho is bringing a new change in the way products are sold, right? So India, if you see, there are a lot of housewives, and there are 200 million plus housewives, and these housewives are the people who generally interact with the society, right? Because you have the husbands and kids are at office or at school, and housewives generally interact in their social circle, in their local network, and these housewives spend a lot of time interacting, engaging, and with for ages they have been doing social selling. वो पहले different models में social selling करते थे, now the model is evolving, right? So if you see कि social selling कैसे होता था पहले, it used to happen through kitty parties, it used to happen through boutiques कि वहाँ पे you have heard about Amway, Tupperware, जिसके बहुत सारे social sellers होते हैं market में, they go ahead and sell these products one on one. तो this kind of social selling काफी टाइम से चल रहा है, but जब से ये internet penetration बढ़ा है in the country, जब से WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, ये सारे social apps popular हो गए हैं among the adults as well, we have seen there is a high degree of transition from जो हमारा traditional social selling channel होता था to that into this new channel which is much more easier to use, right? You can reach out to a lot of people. आपको directly मिलने की जरूरत नहीं है उन लोगों से. You can also get these products shipped directly at their doorstep, right? Because of the delivery network that has been created in the last 5 to 6 years. कि आपको वो प्रोडक्ट खरीदने की जरूरत नहीं है. You can just put the address of that end customer where you want the product to go, and that product is delivered to that end customer. So this browsing of products, sharing of product, delivery of product has become very easy, and this is where these housewives have started becoming more and more popular in using social selling as a big tool for themselves, because उनके लिए एक secondary earning वो earn करते हैं, plus they have a very good network of social circle, and this has led to a lot of disruption in the way products are sold right now. So if you see a lot of other channels जहाँ पे transactions होते हैं, they are struggling to grow the way it could have, because उनके सबके challenges है, right? Tupperware, Amway, those kind of models काफी capital intensive होते हैं. You have to purchase product and then sell it further. लोगों के पास इतना capital नहीं होता to invest in that product, and that is where we see that, you know, उन products का जो growth rate, it is becoming stagnant. Similarly, for all other offline channels as well, the growth is slower than it should be, because it is very high capital intensive. Meesho is one model which is disrupting all of this, because अगर आप Meesho के through social selling करना चाहते हैं, then you don't need to invest even a single rupee in setting this up. You can sign up for free. You can browse through the products that you like. You can share it with your friends, and then you can make money out of it. Right? And you earn margin on every sales that you make in your network. So quickly explaining how Meesho works, it's very simple. So there are two parts to Meesho. एक part है where a seller or a supplier is placed. The second part is where our resellers are placed. तो basically what happens is कि जो भी products हमारे sellers platform पे डालते हैं, उन प्रोडक्ट्स को ये रीसेलर्स हु आर वेरी पॉपुलर इन देयर लोकल सर्कल्स उनको ब्राउज करते हैं. उनको ब्राउज करने के बाद दे शेयर दीज प्रोडक्ट्स विद जो भी उन्हें पसंद आते हैं, व्हिच आर लाइक हाई रेटेड, बेस्ट प्राइस, गुड क्वालिटी, गुड रिव्यूज. वो उस बेसिस पे उनको शॉर्टलिस्ट करते हैं उन प्रोडक्ट्स को. दे शेयर इट विद देयर फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिलीज एंड देयर वहां पे दे रेट इंटरेस्ट थ्रू जस्ट व्हाट्सएप इटसेल्फ कि यार व्हाट्सएप पे दे विल गेट एन ऑर्डर कि हाँ यार ये ऑर्डर मेरे लिए प्लेस कर दो, या ये कुर्ती या ये साड़ी या ये लिपस्टिक मेरे लिए भेज दो. एंड देन दे कम टू द प्लेटफॉर्म एंड देन प्लेस एन ऑर्डर. एंड जब वो ऑर्डर प्लेस करते हैं, वो ऑर्डर डायरेक्टली आपके पास चला जाता है, एंड देन यू हैव टू पैक इट, एंड मीशो कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर, एंड देन हम वहां से पिक करके डिलीवर करके पेमेंट्स, ऑल ऑफ दैट इकोसिस्टम इज मैनेज्ड बाय मीशो. So it's an ecosystem of three parties where Meesho is helping you as a service provider to connect between resellers and sellers and making sure that the supply chain is very smooth. कि यार there is no friction, आपका प्रोडक्ट जा रहा है, एंड कस्टमर तक पहुंच रहा है, एंड पेमेंट कलेक्शन हो रहा है, and you are getting the payment. So you don't have to worry about payment collection, you don't have to worry about marketing, you don't have to worry about distribution channel. Everything is taken care by Meesho itself. So for a reseller, it's very simple. They can just browse product, as I said, they can share and they can earn through it. And we have seen कि बहुत ही innovative तरीके से these resellers sell their products, right? They sell products through sharing products just on WhatsApp images. they create videos. I'll give you a few examples of how these videos are created. I think that will create a good understanding of it as well. So if you see some of the videos, right?
Hello everyone, presenting beautiful cotton kurti. ये कुर्ती मिलती है आपको रेड एंड ब्लू कलर के कॉम्बिनेशन में. बेहतरीन कलर कॉम्बिनेशन वाली ये कुर्ती मिल रही है आपको प्रिंटेड डिजाइन में, जो कि ऑल ओवर आपको कुर्ती में मिलेगा विद स्लीव्स. स्लीव्स इसकी 3/4 है एंड इसमें मिलता है आपको राउंड नेक. डिजाइन इसकी कुछ इस तरह है, आप देख सकते हैं. ये है डबल लेयर श्रग स्टाइल कुर्ती, जो कि इस कुर्ती में अटैच है. अटैच्ड कुर्ती है. ये पूरी डिजाइन है इस कुर्ती की. यहाँ पे बीट्स लगे हुए हैं, 2 पॉम्पम दिए गए हैं और ओवरऑल इस कुर्ती का लुक बहुत ही ऑसम लग रहा है. इसमें मिल जाएंगे आपको एक्स्ट्रा स्मॉल से लेकर के 7XL तक साइज. बहुत ही रीजनेबल कुर्ती है, पार्टी वेयर लुक के साथ ये मिल रही है आपको. तो देर मत कीजिए, इसको अभी ऑर्डर कीजिए.
So generally we have seen कि काफी इनोवेटिव तरीके से हमारे जो ये रीसेलर्स होते हैं, they try to sell your products, and with Meesho you get a big sales force जो आपके प्रोडक्ट्स को to the end customers प्रमोट करता है, जहाँ पे नेचुरली हम पहुंच नहीं सकते हैं, बिकॉज वो सारे यूजर्स जो हैं वो ई-कॉमर्स के यूजर्स है ही नहीं. वो तो सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप और फेसबुक ही यूज करते हैं. एंड उन चैनल्स के थ्रू हमारे रीसेलर्स आपके कस्टमर्स उनके कस्टमर्स तक पहुंचते हैं, एंड देन दे जनरेट ऑर्डर्स फॉर योर प्रोडक्ट्स. एंड दिस इज हाउ दिस इकोसिस्टम हैज डेवलप्ड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड इट इज ग्रोइंग एट अ फास्टर स्पीड देन एवर, राइट? एंड व्हाइल डूइंग सो, ऐसा नहीं है कि ये चैनल हमने सिर्फ एक ही पर्पस के लिए बनाया था कि यार हमें अपने ऑर्डर्स ग्रो करने. इसमें हमने एक चीज ये भी देखी है कि वी हैव चेंज्ड मिलियंस ऑफ लाइव्स. ए लॉट ऑफ हाउसवाइफ्स जो पहले ग्रो नहीं कर पा रही थी बिकॉज देयर वेयर कैपिटल रेस्ट्रिक्शंस की पैसा नहीं है इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए. देयर वेयर अदर रेस्ट्रिक्शंस की यार शॉप्स वगैरह में बैठना इज नॉट समथिंग दैट दे वांट कन्वीनियंस ऑफ होम ऑल्सो. उन्हें घर भी मैनेज करना है. ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वी हैव सीन सच ब्यूटीफुल स्टोरीज की these entrepreneurs or these resellers have actually created a very good digital identity and a personal identity for themselves, and उसके अराउंड हमने बहुत सारे campaigns वगैरह रन किए. and I just want to share one of those stories, and there are lakhs of stories like that. I'll just quickly run through one story that one of our reseller has shared with us.
जब शुरू किया था तब पता नहीं था कि एक दिन ऐसा भी आएगा कि एक हाउसवाइफ को स्टेज पे खड़ा होके अवार्ड मिल सकता है. ये सिर्फ हमारे लिए अवार्ड नहीं है, ये उन सब सवालों का जवाब है जो एज अ हाउसवाइफ होम मेकर को पूछे जाते हैं. जैसे कि पूरा दिन घर पे करते क्या है. अगर किसी बैंक पे फोन आता है, मैम आपको क्रेडिट कार्ड हम लोग ऑफर कर रहे हैं, आप बताइए क्या करते हो, और आपने बोल दिया कि मैं हाउसवाइफ हूँ, देन कट. आगे कुछ पूछते ही नहीं है. आपका पैसा हम कैसे पे करेंगे वो उनके लिए मायने नहीं रखता. पैसे तो हम अपने हस्बैंड की कमाई से पे कर ही देते हैं, लेकिन उनको आपकी इनकम क्या है उसमें ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट होता है. अभी शायद मुझे क्रेडिट कार्ड के लिए फोन आए तो मैं उसको मना कर दूंगी, मुझे नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि मुझे उनकी क्रेडिट की जरूरत ही नहीं है. उसके लिए मेरा मीशो का अर्निंग काफी है, उससे मुझे बहुत काफी क्रेडिट मिलता है.
So before coming into what is there for sellers, one last thing that I wanted to discuss कि so around this theme कि यार हम बहुत सादा entrepreneurs create करते हैं, micro entrepreneurs create करते हैं जो अपने social circles में product sell करके अपने लिए एक living बना रहे हैं, and they are using Meesho as a platform to sell all these products which are listed. And उसके around we have created a very beautiful TV campaign also, and this has been recently launched. I would like you to go through that TV commercial as well. And this TV commercial is live, and we are promoting Meesho to lots and lots of people across the country. So, quick view on that.
बहुत से नाम है मेरे. हेलो, मिसेस कृष्णा.
बहू.
अम्मा.
मैडम. भाभी.
Priya Krishnan, owner of Priya's Boutique.
नाम तो बड़े मिले, पर पहली बार मिली है पहचान. मीशो. अब ऑनलाइन बिजनेस शुरू करो बिना इन्वेस्टमेंट के. जस्ट ब्राउज, शेयर और करो अर्न. मीशो, मेरा स्टोर, मेरी स्टोरी.
So broadly, this is what Meesho is all about. We are creating entrepreneurs and we are using the strength of these entrepreneurs to sell lots and lots of products which are deep rooted in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities and are not very accessible through e-commerce, but are accessible through social commerce, right? And this is what the broader framework or the broader objective is कि जो deep rooted locations हैं जहाँ पे बहुत easy e-commerce penetration नहीं है, we make sure कि most of our users जो internet use कर सकते हैं transact online. And ये चीज हमने बहुत ही clearly देखा है in the kind of growth we have seen both pre-COVID but after COVID as well, right? And this is some of the growth stories that I wanted to discuss. कि the way Meesho has evolved over a period of time. हम pre-COVID जो numbers करते थे, right now after COVID we have seen a significant jump there. हम 4 times there is growth in terms of orders which are coming on the platform. We are currently trending at somewhere around 4.5 lakh orders per day, which is I think next to only Flipkart and Amazon in the country. So we are by volume the third largest player already in the country, and with the power of these resellers, we have seen significant jump in the seller base as well. हमारे sellers जो हैं वो 2x से grow किए हैं, and every week we are now seeing all-time high registrations. We are seeing 1500 sellers registering with us every week, and this we are able to achieve because of the kind of growth we have seen in all of our penetrated cities and geographies. So when I talk about reselling, तो लोगों के mind में होता है यार reselling तो सिर्फ certain categories के लिए possible होता है, but that is not the case, and that is something that we have seen here as well. Meesho is a platform for all the categories.
Hi Abhishek, sorry to barge in. So we are just left with around 8-9 minutes. I guess it is a good time to take a few questions, and then as I said, we do have got one entire hour between 1 to 2 to take up questions and chat around, but few questions will be easy to pick. So
Sure. Yeah.
So the questions are already posted for Meesho on chat room and Q&A, and
okay,
would be great if you can pick one and answer them.
Okay.
So for example, there's one question which has been posed by one of the sellers asking for if dropship is possible in Meesho, and if it is, then how much time it will take into delivery. And so this is one question which is very common, but one thing to ask. And in addition, Meesho is a great platform, no doubt. Deepak is saying Meesho is a great platform, no doubt. However, we are ensuring the best pricing and quality from this portal. As in the recent past, I have seen high prices and dip in quality. How are you going to solve these concerns?
Got it. So drop shipment is possible for all the locations of the country. हम लोग 26,000 पिन कोड्स पर डिलीवरी करते हैं, एंड जनरली डिलीवरी टाइम डिपेंड्स कि उस लोकेशन का कनेक्टिविटी कैसा है. इफ इट इज अ नियर बाय कनेक्टिविटी, देन द डिलीवरी हैपेंस विद इन 2 to 3 days. अगर वो थोड़े फार ऑफ लोकेशन है तो इट टेक्स सम 5 to 6 days, बट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ आवर डिलीवरीज हैपन विद इन 7 to 8 days. मतलब हमारा 90-95% डिलीवरी उतने टाइम पीरियड में हो जाता है. कमिंग टू द सेकंड क्वेश्चन वेयर यू से कि प्राइसिंग प्लेटफॉर्म के बड़े हैं, आई थिंक दिस वाज अ प्रॉब्लम लास्ट ईयर. इट वाज identified किया last year the prices are not what it should have been, and उसके लिए what we have done is we have continuously started doing this exercise of lowering our commissions, making it more effective, and right now if you see the platform is running at lowest commissions for all the categories across, right? हमारा commission is one of the lowest in the industry. We just charge 3 to 4% for all the apparels categories, जहाँ पे आपको कहीं दिखेगा ही नहीं. So we are continuously evolving in terms of pricing, and we benchmark a lot of our pricing with competition, with local markets, and we have seen that 90-95% of our products are cheaper priced as compared to the competition that we see. So this has happened over a period of time in the last 6 months. I think if you go and check few of the products in apparels, I don't think you can find any of these prices anywhere. So this kind of things that we have learned ourselves over a period of time and evolved over it and working on it. And I think going forward, we are making very hard. We are ensuring that we are able to reach 0% commission model, right? We don't even charge a single percentage of commission, and then able to give you the lowest prices possible in the country. So that is something that we are continuously evolving on. Just to give you an idea, this commission percentages used to be 25% in January this year, and currently it is somewhere around 3-4% and 5-6% all across categories. So this is the kind of drop we have seen in terms of pricing, and we have made our value chain very, very streamlined than what it was earlier.
So one more quick question for you. What additional support Meesho will provide to the sellers to get the next level of sale, and can manufacturers directly join Meesho? Second part of this question, can big brands also join Meesho, or it is for the smaller seller only? What's a business proposition coming in from you?
Yeah, so I think we are on the right page then. So we have seen our seller ecosystem grow over a period of time, and हमने काफी सारे अपने learnings लिए in the last 3.5 years. What we have seen is that as a platform, we are a free platform. We don't charge you for any sign up. We do not charge you for initial visibility as well, right? आपकी सारी visibility जो है वो सारी organic होती है. There are guaranteed views that you will get on your products, and if your products are liked by the customer, there is no charge that we have for the sellers to pay and get views, right? So that is very, very clear objective of us कि जो भी best product है, it should win irrespective of who is giving that product. So that is one thing that we have ensured in our model, which is different from a lot of other platforms. Second is that we ensure we protect our sellers from wrong returns, because there is definitely a risk working with e-commerce platforms कि यार मेरे पास wrong product return आ गया तो क्या करूँगा? We have a 100% protection fund for the wrong returns that our sellers get. We have one of the lowest returns in the country, and the reason why we have the lowest returns is because these resellers are making a living out of this business, right? And अगर return आएगा तो उनको भी पैसा नहीं मिलता. So that is where they also try hard to make sure कि यार returns हमारे minimum से minimum है. Customers को they try and push the product कि यार you buy this product because it's a good product. And as I said, commissions are lowest. Definitely we accept all sellers of all brackets to work with us. We have case studies of a lot of manufacturers working directly with us. We have a case studies of a lot of small sellers who started say a few years back and becoming very big. We have case studies of brands also working with us. A lot of these brands in areas जहाँ पे trust is a deficit, right? तो बहुत सारे brands are around beauty, kitchen. Some of the brands in apparels have been working with us. A lot of these brands are born out of and most of these brands are born out of the country itself, right? So we have kurti brands doing really well. We have beauty brands doing really well. So it is not just a platform for small sellers. I think it's a platform for all the sellers. It's a platform to sell good quality products at the right price. अगर आप वो match कर पाते हैं, if your product is good and your pricing is right, and there is enough incentive for a reseller to sell those products further, all these products will win, right? There is no exception to it. In all the categories, it will win.
So a very common and last question which I would like to pick here यहाँ पे, and then उसके बाद फिर networking sessions में लोग आपसे interact कर लेंगे और कई सारे सवाल पूछेंगे, which I am sure आप रहेंगे जवाब देने के लिए. But एक last question जो बहुत common है कि मीशो पे onboarding का process कैसा है, कितना easy है, क्या तरीका है, कोई email ID है, कोई phone number है जिससे कि हम onboard कर सकें. Apart from that, second question is क्या मीशो किसी एक particular category के लिए specific ज़्यादा जाना जाता है, या हम उस पे बहुत सारी categories पे चीजें और बेच सकते हैं? For example, grocery है, food supplies है, खाने पीने का सामान है, राशन है, सब्जी है, पेंटिंग्स है, क्रॉकरी है, तो कौन सी कैटेगरीज में हम बेच सकते हैं, और आगे आने वाले टाइम में क्या और कैटेगरीज खुलेंगी या नहीं खुलेंगी?